Good day, viewers, and welcome to Business PNG. Today we have with us Mr. John Cholai, who is the General Manager for Origin PNG. John, hello, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Now, John, could you please tell us a bit about Origin Energy and its operations in our country?
Origin has been in PNG for well over 40 years now. They started off as a gas retail company, as a New gas, and later on company changed name to Boral Gas, which we used for quite a long time. A lot of people also still refer to Boral Gas because and from Boral Gas we then basically changed the name as well. Still doing the same business in the retail sector of liquefied petroleum gas, but as Origin. And so Origin PNG is currently retailing gas for all kinds of applications, most notably in the domestic use with appliances for the home, in cooking, in baking, and we also developing some additional ideas on how people can use the gas. We also have the commercial applications for use in bigger institutions like buildings or health sectors, doing incinerators, for example, with the health hospitals, and for I guess commercial industrial applications also. We provide hot water systems for factories that you need for doing hot water systems. We have a full range of these appliances as well that can be used as part of the production. We have tried a few concepts successfully in PNG, and these businesses have become quite profitable. In the commercial as well, we have quite a big application now for the use of what we call a gas heat pump. It's what they call a gas GPX system that uses gas for supplying air conditioning to a lot of buildings now in Port Moresby and the locations. We have big clients, for example, right now in Port Moresby, where we're providing through the same air conditioning system the use of gas for the air conditioning as well as for hot water systems. And two sort of projects that are quite visible at the moment in Port Moresby that we've completed down at the Edge Apartments in Port Moresby. Okay,
and then who is that for?
That's a joint project between the National Provident Fund and the Ketan Brothers.
Oh, with Ketan Brothers.
Ketan Brothers, yeah. And so we done about 10 units that are up there on the rooftop.
Okay, and this is specifically for the supply of hot water or gas as well?
The gas is for the air conditioning.
Oh,
and the same system it also does hot water systems.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's what they call a cogeneration system.
Okay.
That does it for that. So that is some of the applications of the normal cooking gas that a lot of people know in PNG, but more for I guess commercial and industrial applications.
Now, could you tell us a bit about your distribution network in the country and areas that you're present?
Origin have currently 3 main seaport terminals in Port Moresby, in Lae and Rabaul. And these 3 seaport terminals are the sort of the main hub for vessels that come in from Origin in Australia to deliver our gas in big ships that come in every month to actually drop off our gas requirements from these 3 main centers. So Port Moresby looks after the southern region from Alatau down to the Western Province, and Lei looks after quite a big chunk of our business, mainly in the Mamasa region, also the Highlands, and because of the shipping routes, we also Lei also supplies some of the New Guinea Island provinces like Kimbe and Manus.
Okay. Now, can you, I mean, with those 3 hubs or where?
Yeah, so just following from that, from the main 3 seaports, we have what you call smaller depots that are based in Alotau. We got Goroka, Mount Hagen, Wewak, and we also got an agent. Wewak is run by an agent, and also same for Kimbe. It's KBSA do that for us in Kimbe. And we also have a small a distribution depot in Kokopo. And also Kavian. Yeah.
Now, in terms of those distribution networks that you have, what are some of the challenges that you faced, you know, getting your product to the market and to the customers that want the product?
Thank you. That's a very good question, and it's actually a challenge as well for us, because we believe that the use of gas, especially for most of our people that live in the villages, is now becoming more and more applicable because of the pressures that are experienced right now, even down to the village level, with the availability of firewood, and the fact that a lot of people now, because of the increase in population, are cutting down the forests.
Yes.
They're cutting down the mangroves, for example, that provide the cover for you know, the shorefront, for the for which provides some protection from rising sea levels and tides, and also the habitat for sea fish,
yeah,
and crabs and stuff. So because that, you know, like you see a lot of these examples in a lot of villages around the country where they because of the need for firewood, they go and cut these mangroves
down, yeah,
and remove that safety barrier, and suddenly they're exposed, and that's when you see a lot of erosion and a lot of things that are happening there. So we feel that we can be able to contribute in a little bit in that way, sustaining our environment by turning people away from using traditional firewood and other fuels like kerosene, for example, which is I think is unsafe, and get into gas. Yeah. But the challenge we have is that we're not able to still have a network to be able to get through to the people. A lot of it is, with a lot of our areas, is the difficulty with shipping. As I mentioned, like if we were to look at it, our terminal in Rabaul should be able to supply the New Guinea Islands region.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the shipping arrangement doesn't allow that. We have to ship our stuff, you know, for Kimbe through Lei, because Lei is the more reliable shipping route, and things going back to Rabaul have to come through from Kimbe, have to come through Lei to go to Rabaul.
Yeah.
And that's the way that the shippers organize themselves, and so we in a way have to go with that. Part of our challenge as well is our products are left on the wharves because they are considered as dangerous goods.
Yeah.
So they load the rice and the tin fish, which is also important, but they forget that they have to cook the rice with gas. So they leave the gas behind, and then ultimately our consumers also don't get gas. And there are actually locations where they're really in desperate need of gas, but we just can't get gas to them because of the logistics.
Okay. John, thanks for that. We'll hold the thought and we'll go for a quick commercial break and we'll be back. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Welcome back to Business PNG. We will continue our discussion with John Chala, who is General Manager of Origin PNG. Now, John, previously we were talking about some of the difficulties with distribution and getting the gas to customers on the ground. Now, in terms of, can you explain to us some of the initiatives that you have implemented or are thinking of doing, maybe forming joint ventures with people on the ground to better enable customers to get the product?
Yes, we have thought long and hard about our current model of distribution. and we believe that there's room for improvement. And because our one of our goals and one of our missions is to make gas available to within reach of every household in PNG. And at the same time, we're going to make it affordable. And so the way to do that is to actually look at a different way in which we distribute our gas. And that is to get a bit more partnerships, a bit more involvement from entrepreneurs that want to actually participate in the business, in the gas business.
So, sorry to cut in, how can, I mean, what are the steps if you're wanting to encourage these customers to become distributors on the ground? I mean, what steps do they need to take to get in contact with you?
Yes, we have got different models that we provide for people to participate. One is that sort of within a street, within a residential area, anybody that would like to distribute gas can be able to provide gas from their premises, as long as and these are what we classify as a cage dealer. But the requirement is that they go to sell. They should have at least at one time no more than 135 kgs of storage, and this is to conform with safety requirements. Yep. And so that is one way that the housewife, the boy seller, the guy that's selling phone cards down the street can be able to start to invest in that business, because they're basically there selling their stuff, and as a side product they can also sell gas. So the 4.5 kgs, the 10 kgs, those are the ones that a lot of people use in their houses. And so it's almost like every street, if there's, right now for example, if you cannot get gas from your street, then there's an opportunity there for you. So that's how you participate. Okay. And you don't need to put thousands of Q&A into it.
Yeah, it's any special requirement.
Just go and do a dealership with us. Come to Origin with 1,500 kina start off. Get started, and then you make a bit of your margins, and then you continue your business like that. The other aspect is to actually get into the dealership itself. Yeah. And that means that you actually go and store gas in an area which we have to come and check and make sure it's all safe and everything else. Yes. And as a dealer. But the exciting one that we are looking at the moment is actually providing bulk gas to all the as far as possible, to reaching all the provinces in the country. So have a distribution aside from our main seaport terminals, but using bulk gas. And that is what we're going to use that using a method of moving big 10 metric ton tanks that are got gas, that we can then have, so as an agent or as a dealer in a place like Manus, for example, have somebody there that is able to wholesale gas. And from that gas, establish dealers, and from the dealers, you establish the cage dealers. And so that is how the network should work. And then the challenge is to provide it with reliable shipping. So that is one area that is actually going to happen, and we're working on it at the moment. It's going to be a challenge because all the provinces are different, and the logistics of some of these provinces as well. The availability of stevedoring, for example, because the tank is not a normal tank. It's quite heavy. Yes. And you need to have the forklifts and the ships with the derricks and the cranes to be able to move that. And that's not available in every province as well. So you have the main ports that may have these facilities, but when you start to go to place outer ports, you may not be able to find these services. Yeah. So that's one of our challenges. Okay.
Now, in terms of business growth perspective, what kind of market growth do you see in PNG?
PNG at this stage, from the LPG gas perspective, is quite huge. We have not even reached 85% of our people, and so that's where we are. And even though we sort of say we've been around for quite a while, we still have a lot of areas in which we can be able to share the values of our product with a lot more of our people. So that's where we would like to go.
Now, John, can you tell us a bit about some future opportunities that you see?
Yes, Origin. Origin actually is a big company. In PNG, we basically focus on the downstream retailing of gas, but we have strengths with our parent company in terms of providing energy solutions in a lot of areas, especially with power generation, distribution, and retail of power. And there are at the moment some exciting prospects with some joint ventures that are happening sort of in the background at the moment in PNG, which is quite good for the country, I think. And they will actually be a very good foundational platform for a lot of future growth that is going to happen in our country. So that is the sort of expertise that Origin will bring into PNG from our sort of our upstream and our strengths in power generation and distribution. The other aspect that directly we are looking at for our country is to line up with the government's aim of reduction of carbon emission and looking after our environment. And a bit of it I touched with looking after our forests and not cutting the trees and so on. And that is in the area of the use of auto gas, that is using LP gas for vehicles. I mean, right now, of course, in Mosby, a lot of us are now seeing quite a bit of pollution happening in the city because of a lot of the importation of vehicles that are probably not as fuel efficient as if you got it new. And so the use of gas for powering auto vehicles is also there. What's going to happen is that there's going to be a partnership between the government in terms of their drive towards reduction of carbon emission with the appropriate people in these departments, with us and maybe also with the Department of Transport and Works, and see what we can do as a partnership to be able to introduce this for the people of PNG and for us to be a leader, you know, instead of just going to into these forums and expressing our position in these things, is to actually be seen to be doing something about it. And in Origin have got the technology, we have got the ability to be able to do it, and we just need also some support, you know, to be able to get it done. So that is one area also that we're looking at. Part of our contribution, I guess, with the air conditioning systems that we are introducing is to be able to reduce on the power grid consumption, because a lot of the power that's consumed in the city, for example in Port Moresby, is directly due to the loading that's on the power grid because of the air conditioning systems. During the day, when air conditioning systems throughout the city are up, that consumes quite a lot of power. And with our systems that we have, you are able to reduce power consumption up to about 30%, because of the fact that the air conditioning system does not use electrical power; it uses gas, and therefore there's a complete reduction in the use of electricity. So in that way, we're also trying to reduce the amount of consumption of the grid, so it's available for other use, for other users. But that is something that we just working on slowly, and as that grows and as a lot more acceptance comes with our systems, we will be able to contribute a little bit in that way as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, John, thank you for joining us on Business PNG. It's been interesting to know what Origin PNG is doing and some of the opportunities in the future, and we look forward to the products that you have. Thank you.
Thank you very much.